a social sacrament and giving it to the society so that all the other sacrament, all the other vocations can emanate from the marriage institution. Yeah.
Well answered. And I like your reference with the scripture. And talking about marriage as a God's institution, how do every family practices shape a child's understanding of right and wrong?
Very good. If, for example, you go to the book of Ephesians, I think it is chapter 6, and I don't want to quote it longly. Parents are given a responsibility to teach their children. Teaching. And teaching, these are the teachings that are embedded in the teachings of Jesus Christ. These are the teachings that are embedded in morality. These are the teachings that are embedded in ethics. These are the teachings that are embedded in holistic formation. Because for us, Catholic Church, it's not only teaching. Teaching is not enough. It is formation. And formation, this is where we touch mind and soul. So family is the basic institution where people learn. And that's the reason why even your first language, it is called the mother tongue.
Mother tongue, sure.
It is called the mother tongue.
Yeah.
So it is because it is from the family where you start to learn the basics of the society. It's from the family where you learn what is right and what is wrong. It is from the family where you learn when you grow up, even the first thing you need to do when you wake up, it is to make the bed.
Yeah.
It's a teaching of our Catholic faith where people are supposed to be instilled with those values and virtues of teachings.
Okay. And talking about values and virtues in line with the formation, not just teaching alone, what is the connection between weak family values and widespread corruption?
Wow, a very good question. Weak. You see, we also talk about the weak links.
Yeah.
We also talk about for example, if you're a human person, and you know you're not taking balanced diet, and you're going to suffer from marasmus.
Yeah.
If you don't take protein, you're going to suffer from kwashiorkor. So that is weak or insufficient nutrients in the body. So the family is founded in three major things. One, if you need to have a family, you must have a man. That is the first pillar.
Yeah.
And we know the man as a breadwinner of the family. We know the man as a person who provides security to the family. We know the man who nurtures the entire family. And then we come to the second pillar where we have the spouse or the wife. And the wife is a nurturer to begin with. The wife is a disciplinarian. By the way, hata wewe, ukiangalia vizuri sana, the person who disciplined you properly is not your father.
Yeah.
It is your mother. Because the mothers, and if you go also to the church, because I have a lot of respect to the mothers, one of the teachings of the church, we have an encyclical called Mater et Magister, simply meaning mother and teacher. So the mother is there, and even when she is disciplining you, she is sort of teaching you.
Yeah.
Okay? Then we have the other pillar of the children. It's just like our traditional cooker.
Yeah.
If you don't have one stone, the cooking pot is going to fall.
Exactly.
So these three people, they must come together, or these three people, they must be entangled now in God's teaching, in the church teachings, and in religious teachings, and even in cultural teachings. So that is where the family originates. And the other question was, weak family, how does corruption manifest itself?
Yeah.
You see, right now, we have children who are reporting to grade 10. Right now, we have children and we have the parent who don't know where to go to begin with and where they're going to head.
Yeah.
Last night I was watching and I had this boy from Nanyuki, and it's a case that touched me. And I was very happy when I saw what the community did. So this also tells you despite the insufficient of funds in the family, there are other people who can do something for the better of this boy and for the common good. And then corruption manifests itself because it comes down to the family.
Yeah.
This boy is supposed to report to one of the national school, but he couldn't. And then there's some bursary which sets aside. Now you see it is coming from top all the way to the basic unit of the society.
Exactly.
Family is being confronted by all these challenges because when we have the parent who are absentees, who are not teaching, who are not following their children what they are doing, when children close their rooms, you don't want to know what is happening there. Maybe you are not even controlling the Wi-Fi, you are not controlling the TV, you are not controlling the radio. Children are controlling you, but you really need to also to know what they are watching, and that is part of the moral formation. Thirdly, corruption manifests itself in the weak society where we tell children, go and do well in school. I'll take you to Mombasa for the Christmas holiday. Go and do this, go and do this. We start bribing them. Corruption manifests itself in weak family. I send a child to the supermarket, but I am not requesting him or her to give me an account of how you utilize the money. That is a weak institution. Yeah. When you are asking that, you are not forcing that kid, or you are not misusing that kid. What you are doing, you are inculcating a value of accountability, and this is very important in family institution. Also, in the family, we know some of the dangers that confront our families. Yeah. Let's, for example, talk about the issues of the drunkardness. Let's talk about the issues of the abuse in the family. Let's talk about the issues of the gender-based violence. All these are the issues of the corruption. Because if you allow me, first of all, in 5 seconds, I always say corruption is abuse of power entrusted to you for your personal gain.
Exactly.
Even though I'm a father and I'm entrusted with a duty and responsibility to make sure the children go to school and they're not going to school, that is corruption in itself. Even though I am a mother and I'm supposed to cook, I'm supposed to prepare children to go to school, I'm supposed to do all the other some domestic chores in consultation and in collaboration with my spouse, and I'm not doing that, that is corruption. If I'm telling children to lie, when they go to school to say, you know, let me use our time. Sometimes we didn't have our house help. So parent could tell you, don't go to school today, you help me to babysit the child so that I can go for kibarua. That is corruption. And it is repeating itself. Because you see in the family, some parents are going to do their business here and there. They have one kid, they don't have capacity to have a house help. They tell the older son or the older sister, come and be with your sister. But when you go to school tomorrow, say you are having a headache. That is corruption. And that is a weak family. And that is a family that is teaching the child to have an informed conscience and to have unworthy life in the future.
Well said, my brother Simon. Allow me to take a very short commercial break. But when we come back, Abana Simon, we'll now be looking at Familiaris Consortio and why it challenges parents to take moral formation very, very seriously.
Correct.
My dear listener, you have a question, 0712 22 3385. Age Radio Mini 88.3 FM. Don't go too far.
The Catholic Radio for All.
88.
What is the image we sell? We must sell an image that attracts. That's the first preaching we must do. Before we preach against corruption, preach positive about what is right. It's like the lodestone. The compasses get magnetized by touch, by closeness, by vicinity. But after some time, when it loses, you have to take it into a area where you have the magnetism, to restore its magnetism. People, you must not be shy about saying we must pray more and meaningfully. We must have more God moments in our life, in our nation, and in the public space. That's where the family will gain. That we start praying more in family. These things have made it so difficult to pray in family. That is why things are thick. So if we want these little fellows to get magnetized in what is right, then start doing so by kneeling down and them seeing you praying kneeling down. Let them see you sacrifice and go and lift the hand of that person who is needy. What is the image we sell? We must sell an image that attacks. That's the first preaching we must do. Before we preach against corruption, preach positive about what is right. It's like the lodestone. The compasses get magnetized by touch, by closeness, by vicinity. But after some time, when it loses, you have to take it into a area where you have the magnetism, to restore its magnetism. People, you must not be shy about saying we must pray more and meaningfully. We must have more God moments in our life, in our nation, and in the public space. That's where the family will gain. That we start praying more in family. These things have made it so difficult to pray in family. That is why things are thick. So if we want these little fellows to get magnetized in what is right, then start doing so by kneeling down and them seeing you praying kneeling down. Let them see you sacrifice and go and lift the hand of that person you don't know who is out there, who is needy. What is the image we sell? We must sell an image that attacks. That's the first preaching we must do. Before we preach against corruption, preach positive about what is right. It's like the lodestone. The compasses get magnetized by touch, by closeness, by vicinity. But after some time, when it loses, you have to take it into a area where you have the magnetism, to restore its magnetism. People, you must not be shy about saying we must pray more and meaningfully. We must have more God moments in our life, in our nation, and in the public space. That's where the family will gain. That we start praying more in family. These things have made it so difficult to pray in family. That is why things are thick. So if we want these little fellows to get magnetized in what is right, then start doing so by kneeling down and them seeing you praying kneeling down. Let them see you sacrifice and go and lift the hand of that person you don't know who is out there, who is needy.
Nairobi coordinator. And today we are talking about family as the first school of conscience. And my brother has elaborated more about that. If you have a question, feel free 0712 223385 or on Facebook page Radio Mini 88.3 FM. My brother Simon, as I told you, after that break, we're going to be looking about the Familiaris Consortio. And Familiaris Consortio focuses on the role of the Christian family in the modern world. So this Familiaris Consortio challenge parents to take moral formation very seriously. How does it do that?
Thank you. A very good question. And I would like to say the church, through the guidance of the church fathers, is always studying the signs of the time.
Sure.
And one of the signs of the time, we can go back to the Vatican II Council. And under the Vatican II Council, there is the last book which was written, and this is the year 1965, and it is called The Church in the Modern World, the Gaudium et Spes. And in this document, it articulates the joys, it talks about the hopes, it talks about the anguishes, it talks about the pains of the people. Based on that, when now we look at these apostolic exhortation or an encyclical, we first of all need to identify what are the major challenges that confront our families. And one of the major families, before I come to that, one of the major families that face our family today, we all have to agree, it is the issues of globalization, the effect of globalization. Talk about the high cost of living, talk about the unemployment, talk about the diseases, talk about even the parents not being able to take their children to school, talk about the political interference. And now this document, Familiaris, it comes and tells the parent, you are in this world. You are in the middle of these challenges. You are in the center of all these problems.
Yeah.
So when your children are growing up, you must strike a balance between all these problems, all these challenges, so that you may bring a proper children, just like the way the gold is tested with fire. The parent or the modern family is tested with all these problems and challenges. And now it comes and says, parent, teach your children virtues. That's what this document majorly talks about. Teach these children how to be good. And you know, you have reminded me a famous quote of my best pope, who was the Benedict XVI of happy memory. And there was a time, I can't remember what was happening, but I would like to quote, and he said, very soon, we are going to have a church and priest reduced to the social workers, but thereafter the church will come out strongly. The same case applies to these. Families are being reduced to small units, and it's out of this reduction the good family are going to emanate and follow the teaching of Jesus Christ. That is what this document is talking about. Thirdly, this document is encouraging parent to encourage their children to live a life that is worth living. That is what this document is all about in a nutshell.
All right. And challenging parents to teach their children to live a life worth living, therein lies an element of integrity. But Simon, in practical terms, what does teaching integrity at home looks like?
A very good question, and I love it. You see, we always say charity begins at home.
Exactly.
Charity begins at home. And I always say, let me give a scenario. I always say, if you see a child who is immoral in school, maybe he is abusing, he is taking other pupils' food, he is taking other pupils' stationaries, he is disrespectful to the seniors, don't go far. Don't go to Sunday school. Just go to the family. Go to the family. And from the family, you are going to learn that. When you bring the issues of integrity, integrity is very important. And in family, we are not only teaching the integrity of finances, we are also teaching about the integrity of creation.
Yeah.
We are also teaching the integrity of housekeeping. We are also teaching integrity of kitchen. We are also teaching the integrity of even our neighbors and good neighborliness. That's what integrity is all about. And all these things we learn from the family. And also remember, as African, we are not only reduced to a nuclear family. We have the extended family, and we call it a family. We have the clan, we call it a family. We have a family where you work. Here in Lady Maria, you should make it a family. Lady Aumini. Wherever we are, we should make that a family. Even when you are traveling in a public transport, you should make it a family. And that is the teaching of this document.
All right.
Yes.
And talking about corruption, do you think corruption is more of a moral failure than a legal one?
Let's first of all start here. We say corruption is sin. And this kind of baptizing in quote, calling it corruption, calling it embezzlement, call it misplacement. For example, if we talk about the issues of examination, and you have a parent who is going all the way to buy an examination for his or her kid, what teaching are you telling your kid to begin with? What are you telling your kid? And you go home and tell your child, kindly, so and so, lead, this will be the examination.
Yeah.
And I know you have seen this in this country, so that your child can be glorified, can be seen on the TV as the best candidate. And I remind our people, Wangari Maathai said, nature is very unforgiving.
Yeah.
You'll do that, you spoil the child, and that's what the book of the Proverbs says. You spoil the child by going and buying exams so that he can become a good scientist. But when he go to the field and be given that job, you need to be in a position to do that job because the right procedure was not followed. That is number one. So when we are talking about the social sin, let me call it social sin, it has serious repercussions into the life of the family. Secondly, you go to school, you misplaced your pen, and then you come home with a pen which was not bought by your parent, and then your parent, they don't ask you. A story is given, there was this child who was living a good life, and then he could go and steal everything, but he brings it to his mother. And then the mother was telling him, you are doing a very good job every day now and then. But thereafter, the children was caught stealing a huge amount of money, and he was taken to court. And when he was taken to court, the magistrate or the judge read the judgment, and he said this boy has to be incarcerated into the behind the bar. But the child said, before I go there, I need to whisper something to my mom. And when the mother came, and when the boy wanted to whisper, he first of all grabbed the ear of the mother with his teeth. Okay?
Yeah.
And then heavily and very strongly, like a cat or I don't know whether you watch Word. And then the woman was screaming, and the boy told the mother, all this is as a result of your misadvice.
Okay.
I could bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could tell me you have done a good job, my son. I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Congratulations, my son. Right now, see where you have objected into. So thereafter, the judge said, let the boy go free, and then the mother go and serve a certain years in the jail. So it is from the family where we should learn values. It is in the family where we should even teach our kid to be obedient and to use what it is belongs to them solely.
All right. And using that example that you've just explained, therein brings an element of modeling. Okay. Okay. Sometimes as parents, we forget that we are modeling behavior to our children. Monkey see, monkey do, right? What role does example play, especially when parents say one thing but do another?
Well, if you go to the book of Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah, it says, just see a potter. The potter molds the pot the way he wants. And the book says, you are in my hands. Constitutionally, the life of our children, they're in the hands of the parents. So it's the law, it's the duty of the parent to mold those children with whatever they want. If the parent want a pot which look like a square, they are going to model a square pot. If they want a rectangle, if they want a novel, if they want a formless or a shapeless pot, that is the duty of the parent. And especially to the growing minors, to the people who have not attained 18 years, or to the people who have not even attained the age of the reason. Because you even know in our teaching, we say a child who has not attained the age of reason cannot be given the sacrament of confirmation and the Eucharist. So it is the duty of the parent, first of all, to mold these children to the right direction. And the parent, you have so many sources. You have the jumuiyas where you can learn things. You have the department, you have the family life, you have justice and peace, you have education, you have the CWA, and all these ecclesia groups. So there are so many places where you can learn things. And let me first of all appreciate our parent. You know, modern parent and our parent are totally different.
Sure.
Let me give a scenario. A time, our parent, let me use my mom. There was a time she could tell us, mimi nimeenda. And you know when this thing is said in vernacular, mimi nimeenda, na ujue those days there were no house help. Mimi nimeenda, na musipike, muningoje, mukuje munikatakate, munikule. You can imagine such kind of a statement.
Yes.
If you dare to tell the children of the modern world such kind of a statement, they are not going to cook.
Exactly.
They are not going to cook. So we must agree there are some changes that has taken place. There's some transformation that has taken place. So parents should be accompanying their children in their learning and their studying. I remember like one of the strong statement. Niliambiwa na my mom. You know, our staple food is githeri.
Yeah.
Anauliza nikule hii ugali ya baba, naye mama ananiambia kula, akikuja akufanye nini, akukule. And you know when these things are said in vernacular, they are very strong. So I'm kindly requesting the modern parent, even when we are going out, because we are talking about the modeling, let us be responsible, because we have so many irresponsible parents. And this one, I'm not seeking any forgiveness.
Yeah.
You go to a social place, you sit on a table, your children are swimming, you are eating kuku and drinking the beer, and then the children are watching all the manner you are doing. Okay?
Yeah.
You are moving from a house, the way you have dressed as a wife, you have not dressed like a wife. You have dressed like a person who is going for a fashion show. And you have girls in your house who are watching you, and this is corruption. You are a woman, or you are a father. You go to church and you start applying cosmetic inside the church. So these are the things that we are saying. We really need to model the children the way we want. You are driving, especially like us men, and then you are carrying your children, and then the children, they hear all the manner of words you are uttering to the other, I don't want to call them reckless, to the other less careful drivers they are doing on the road. So, and the children are learning, and the children learn through imitation and seeing. So as parents, we have a huge responsibility. We have a bigger challenge. And this bigger challenge, we can only demystify it by teaching what is right and what is correct.
What is right and what is correct. And talking about the path that is correct, Bwana Simon, it comes with its fair share of challenges. Number one, you have to pay the price. And that is why people take the lesser route that seems to be less painful. And that is now where we normalize things like corruption. It becomes part and parcel of us. How can families raise children who value honesty, integrity, and all that we're talking about here, even when it costs them?
Thank you. A very good question. And let me say this. If at all you're constructing a building and you go for substandard materials, cheap is very expensive.
Yeah, sure.
Cheap is very, very expensive.
Yeah.
So if you follow the shorter route, if you follow the shortcut, you're going to have it laugh. Let me tell you a story, and this is not a story, this is a real experience. I have a person like you, and allow me not to mention him. This guy is a media practitioner, and this media practitioner told me he has been approached by so many people and to be given some money so that even to leave the job, not to conduct some interviews. But you know what he told me? If I get that money, what will I tell my children? I'm teaching them from. I was taught by a humble civil servant, so I better be satisfied with my own salary.
Exactly.
And that really touched me. And I said, we have good people. We have men and women who can stand for their values and for their virtues and for their principles. Two, the path, and I like quoting Pope Francis. I don't know where you are. I think you were a small boy when he was here in Kasarani in the year 2015.
I was here.
I know. He said corruption is a path to death.
Exactly. Like a cancer.
It's a path to death. So if you follow that path of corruption, you're not going anywhere. If at all you are being sent by this company to go and fuel the car, maybe you don't have a card. You know things are changing.
Yeah.
You are being given 3,000 and then you feel 2,000, you pocket. That is a path to death. It's a path to death. Pope Francis also said, it is from those young people, when he was addressing these young people here in Kasarani, if we don't accompany them as our children, if we don't work with them, these children, and you saw what they did last year, 2024, last year, but one, sorry, during the Gen Z protest.
Yeah.
So if at all we are misreading them, they are going to come and collect this mess.
Yeah. Powerful, Bana Simon. As you are concluding, Bana Simon, if we truly want to break the chains of corruption, what must change in our homes first?
Thank you. A very good question. I was expecting that question to be the first one. Number one, we must change the mindset.
Okay.
Mindset is the starting point. The way we think. And then number two, we stop lamenting, we be doers.
Right.
You know, there are people who come and say, mimi nilichukiwa, mimi sifanyi, mimi nini. We become the doers. We stop lamenting and give solutions. We stop giving problems. We now start giving answers. Two, prayer in our family life. Prayer in our family institution. Come, all of you who are carrying heavy loads, and I give you a rest. My yoke is it simple?
Lighter.
That's light. That's what Jesus Christ says in the Gospel of Matthew.
Yeah.
Praying and praying seriously and having certain devotion. Like this year, the Universal Church has requested us to follow the footsteps of the Saint Francis, who is the patron saint of the poor people, the peas, and the animals. And then number three, or number four, we must have candid discussions in our family. You know, even in family, when communication lacks, everything go haywire. So we must have a candid conversation in our family between the three pillars that I mentioned earlier. And then lastly, we should be humanistic in our family. When God created me, He didn't create me as a CJPC coordinator in the Archdiocese of Nairobi. First of all, He created me to be a human person. na ushaitembea ukasikia mtu vile amefanya, huyo mtu hana utu.
Exactly.
Tuingie pale kwenye boma, we go back to our family, and first of all we become the human. And when that humanity is manifesting itself, all things will go well. You know, and I tell you, somebody touched me. And there are some people who touches you on a daily basis.
Yeah.
This boy don't want to be known. He's a good friend of mine. But he told me, I'm supporting 6 children. He's a businessman. With my own profit, I'm going to support 6 children from Form 1 to Form 4.
Wow.
So, being human.
Being human.
Human. And that is what we are called to the family. And when we lack humanity in our family, that family is going to die. That family is not going to survive. That family is going to be a dysfunctional family.
Wow. Bwana Simon, in your own words, being human, I've just remembered what Sadio Mane, one of the greatest son of the African continent, footballer that the continent has ever had, after winning the African Cup of Nations, the other day he was asked, what do you want to be remembered for? And he said, I don't want to be remembered as one of the greatest footballer. I want to be remembered as one of the greatest human beings.
I tell you.
Bwana Simon.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Most welcome.
But I promise you, next week, it's going to be better.
I tell you.
All right?
Yes.
As we continue. And next week, by the way, we'll be talking about the daily choices as moral acts.
I tell you.
And we will center our conversation around the gospel according to St. Luke chapter 16 from verse 10.
Most welcome.
My brother, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much.
Let me allow
And
you
I
to-
also would like to leave you with the word of the Cardinal Newman, who was a convert.
Yeah.
He said, what legacy are you going to leave behind? So our dear parents, our dear teachers, our dear evangelists, what kind of legacy are we going to leave behind as human beings?
All right. Powerful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bwana Simon. CPC coordinator. We're going to be having again next week, God willing, same time.
God willing.
All right.
Thank you.
Dear listener, it is exactly time.
What is the image we sell? We must sell an image that attracts. That's the first preaching we must do. Before we preach against corruption, preach positive about what is right. It's like the lodestone. The compasses get magnetized by touch, by closeness, by vicinity. But after some time, when it loses, you have to take it into an area where you have the magnetism, to restore its magnetism. People, you must not